unbeatable. I'm unbeatable. From the start score. Every time they want to clash, the winners kicking through the door. I am unbeatable. Chances running out of stock. And we're running out the clock. I fail once, never stop. I am unbeatable. I am unbeatable. I am unbeatable, yeah. I am unbeatable. I am unbeatable, yeah. I am unbeatable. I am unbeatable, yeah. I am unbeatable. I am unbeatable, yeah.
It's Friday night, which must mean it's time to shoot some hoops. Good evening and welcome to the British Basketball League live on Sky Sports. Tonight, the most successful team in league history, the Newcastle Eagles. They host the Plymouth City Patriots. And it's safe to say the men from Devon have had an eventful couple of weeks.
This is truly incredible. Patriots building confidence. Oh my goodness, are you kidding me?
Well, they are showing no disrespect to us.
Good night, Plymouth. That is for you.
They beat London last week. Can they bring that level of performance against Newcastle tonight?
Lobbed up to Delpesh, who jams it in.
That's not great defense from the City Patriots. This is all going wrong for the Plymouth City Patriots. What a denial! These teams meet again on Friday. Plymouth need to channel some of that quality we saw against London, against an Eagles team who are really flying now.
After a 400-mile road trip to the Virtue Motors Arena, the Plymouth City Patriots will take huge inspiration from that historic win over the all-conquering London Lions. They failed to follow that up, though, with a win against today's opposition, Newcastle. But in terms of form, they've definitely turned a corner. And in Coach Paul James, they have a man with 500 league wins under his belt. And after a fairly indifferent start to the season, Newcastle are on a 2-game winning streak. Coach Mark Strutel will be targeting this period of the season as they take on teams in the lower half of the league. He'll also be encouraged by Newcastle's performances in Europe with 2 wins from 3. But can they transfer their European form into domestic bliss? And we're very much at home with these two absolute ballers. Welcome to our basketball resident expert, OV Soko expert. No pressure there, but also welcome to you, Jordan Taylor, current London Lion as well. OV, let's start with you. Next to Jordan, so be nice. What they did, the Plymouth City Patriots to London Lions, it was big, but how big?
I mean, it was massive. You know, they pulled off a feat that not many of us thought was going to happen this season. It was looking like the Lions were going to steamroll through everybody in the league. But they got a big win for the coach, 500th win. It was massive for the program.
It was huge. And how did it feel for the team? I know you didn't play, but how did it feel for the team?
Yeah, tough loss. You know, we were missing a couple guys, so coming back off of a big Euro Cup game, but they played well. Hats off to Plymouth, and we'll be looking forward to when we see those guys again.
Okay, well, you hosted Newcastle. You hosted Newcastle not too long ago, and they pushed you to overtime. They're a tough team to beat, aren't they, Jordan?
Absolutely. They got a very talented lineup, get out in transition. They're very good defensively when they're locked in, getting good shots on the offensive end.
It should be good. It should be a good game. Let's look at the lineups then. Starting 5 over, we can take you through the Plymouth City Patriots.
Let's go. LBC Dusha, I mean, he's an assist guy. He's going to get the offense going. Johnson, an all-round wing playmaker. He can score from outside, inside. Wiley, one of the new recruits, able to roll to the basket, able to pick and pop, do multiple things. Atwood, Mr. Consistency, and then Levi, the man in the paint. Presence down low.
Okay, looking good. No surprises there. What about Newcastle, Jordan?
Yeah, Ricky McGill and Jordan Johnson, super talented backcourt for the Eagles. And you have Taj Green and Devin Whitfield in the front court, both guys capable of getting you at least 20, but also playing good defensive basketball. And then Mr. Consistent, 20 years, Darius Defoe down there filling in for Del Pesh. He's dangerous in the mid-range and a great fill-in for him.
And Darius Defoe as well. We'll talk about him a bit later as well. And if the Newcastle Eagles had a Hall of Fame, this man might take centre stage. After helping them to 10 titles, who better to cast his eagle eye on Newcastle than Drew Lasker?
Guys, when you see Jordan Johnson getting downhill, he's like a bowling ball searching for pins. But let's take a look at his body. Look at his frame, strong and stout. And he also has the ability at moving full speed to stop on a dime, which takes elite coordination, which he would have developed as his time as a violinist. But let's come on over here. Speaking of instruments, let's find my boy right here. Let's hustle up, my boy. Darius Defoe. year 20 and still starting for a professional franchise. To put that in perspective, 2 of his teammates was 5 years old when he started his career. Mark Zuckerberg had just launched Facebook from a Harvard dorm room. Jeanette, I'm feeling old.
They've had to work quite hard, Newcastle, to make sure that roster is one that can be respected. But they've had a tricky start to the season. What's that about, Obi, do you think?
They have the pieces, but, as Jordan would know, it's one thing to have a lot of big names, but then getting them to mesh, getting them to buy into what the coach is trying to do, into the team concept, that's the difficult part, and that's where we haven't quite seen them hit the mark so far this season. Still a long way to go, but I think that's what they're missing at the moment.
Yeah, and I guess for them, they need to be able to bring in these big players to make them work well, gel together. And Jordan Johnson's one of those. He's a big signing. He needs to be able to perform.
Yeah, Jordan Johnson's very talented, but a lot of the times when you have that much talent as a guard, it's very difficult to get your own shots off, but also it's important to involve your teammates, to keep them involved in the offense. As you see him getting in the paint here, finding guys. When he's doing that, they're a much better team. We talk about the Lions going good to great right there. As you see, that's a great shot. And then when you get those shots on offense, you ratchet it up on defense a little bit more. Everybody's involved. It's more fun to play that way.
Yeah, he needs to make sure that he has a good game tonight. Newcastle needed to keep this winning streak going. But one person that can give them the experience is Darius Defoe, with 39, just on Monday. He's a veteran now, but he brings a level of experience, isn't he, Ovi?
Yeah, Darius Defoe, he's been around. He's an elder statesman in the league. Everybody knows what he's capable of doing. But when you have someone who's been around in the game, you know what to expect from them. And that's the beauty of it. When you are able to lean on your veterans, he's going to be a punisher in the mid-range. He's going to bring that sort of team concept. He knows what the coach wants to do. He's won in Newcastle before. And here you see him, doing what he does, speaking to the ref early in the game, seeing if he can get an extra call. But getting the young guy off his feet, attacking the paint, just being a nuisance. Darius Defoe, he's a big body, putting on the floor. He can do a couple things. He doesn't always affect the stat sheet quite as much. But I think his effect is more so on the bench.
It's presence as well, isn't it? It is presence, and it's having that presence, isn't it, Jordan? Just having someone there that knows exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, when you're 39, your body don't work like it used to when you're a young man, as Ovi and I can both attest to. So you gotta
stretch it out like he's doing there.
A lot of stretching, watching cartoons, whatever it is you do, you gotta stretch it out. But you find ways to help your team. Veteran leadership, making the right play, making shots when you're open, and doing all that. And that's what he's done well this year. And I can relate to that as well.
I'm excited to watch him. He starts tonight. But the other live game in the British Basketball League tonight is the Leicester Riders. They're hosting the Sheffield Sharks. They tipped off a few minutes ago. The score there, 10-6. Tip-off is here in just a few minutes, and we'll be back to probe the Patriots next. Welcome back to the British Basketball League live on Sky Sports, and a special hi to our new viewers in the USA. Tonight's game sees the Newcastle Eagles take on the Plymouth City Patriots. So let's head down courtside to Drew Lasker. He's finding out about the Patriots game tonight.
What you know about those Texas boys? First up, Taylor Johnson from Dallas. Now, you would think after making the leap up, he would be happy to be here. But according to him, he's supposed to be here. He just needed someone to give him an opportunity. And after graduating from an Ivy League with an economic degree, I'm not going to argue with the 16.8 points a game. Now, let's go over to Beaumont, Texas, right here. Down here on the baseline, TJ Atwood, a town that's known as a blue collar, which fits this guy's description perfectly. He just has his shovel in his hands. He gets down and dirty and go to work. And also a great guy of great character. According to his college coach, one of the most classiest guys he's ever coached. And when you think about it, what else do you expect from Texas guys?
Let's Drew having a double dose of the TJs there. Taylor Johnson and TJ Atwood. But let's talk about Taylor Johnson. What a season he's having, especially that game against the London Lions as well. He is somebody that wants to park that result, though, and move this forward. He's a game changer, Ovi.
100%. He's a playmaking wing. Here you see him attacking down the left side of the paint. But he's someone who's able to score in multiple different ways. He scores off the dribble, which makes it very, very, very difficult to guard. And he's really effective all over the floor. He played last season with Aaron Wright, who a lot of us might know from Cheshire, and both of them are having absolutely huge first seasons in the BBL. Here, showing that he plays on both sides of the floor, but not forcing it. Again, making the smart play and dishing it off to his teammate. He's a massive piece for these guys, and he's having an incredible season so far.
There's a great interview with him on the British Basketball League website. You've got to go and read it. He talks about his whole season here in the UK. But another person, another TJ Atwood, played a lot of minutes. He's super fit, and he must be a coach's dream.
Yeah, super versatile. He does everything. Coaches and a player's dream, honestly. Those are guys that you love to play with, as we can attest to. Here he is. Well, he's not, I don't even think he's in this one right here, but he guards every position. He both offensively can play inside and outside. You see him here on the perimeter, attacking right hand. It's hard to really understand what position he plays because he's there in the mid-range, which is a positive thing. You know, you'll see him tonight pick up full. There he is rolling to the basket like a big man, finishing around the rim. I don't want to be too egregious, but it's a little bit of like a LeBron James effect, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, you know what I'm saying? You got to show love. We got to show love out here, you know what I'm saying? There he is playing in the middle of the paint right there, spacing the floor the right way. So he really is just a dream to play with. Does a little bit of everything, and those are the kind of teammates that you love to kind of compete with and compete for.
Well, let's see how he goes tonight. We've got an interview actually coming up with Coach Paul James at half-time, so please do stay tuned for that. 500 league wins that he's got under his belt. That's a huge achievement, isn't it, Ovi?
That's special. It's a big number. Let's see if he can keep that going.
Can he keep it going?
It's going to be tough tonight. It's going to be tough. They got dog walk the other day, you know what I'm saying? So it's going to be tough tonight, but I wish him well.
We'll just see how he goes. And speaking of coaches, we can check in with them right now. Drew Lasker caught up with them earlier.
There is his presence in that starting lineup done to the other guys.
I mean, I'm not saying anything that the league doesn't know for 20 years. Leadership, I think, you know, whether he fills up the box score or not, it's leadership. His communication on the defensive end is exceptional. He understands our coverages. He understands the shots that we're trying to give up and the shots that we're not trying to give up, and holds other guys accountable to it. So, yeah, his impact is immeasurable.
Coach, 500 wins. Put that in perspective for us.
Well, I don't know if I can. I'm really proud of that achievement, that's for sure. But that's a lot of games to have under your belt. And, I've met some amazing people along the way, amazing players, fans, supporters. So, I'm really pleased to have made that milestone.
Our task all week has been refreshing ourselves, reviewing the performance, and understanding that tonight is a completely blank slate. And we want to be the best version of ourselves again to hopefully get the right outcome.
The Eagles, I thought, played probably one of their better games of the season. Probably helped by our lack of defense, but hopefully we're going to change that today.
I guess tonight, Ovi, these are the kind of games where Newcastle really want to try and gel and get that identity that everyone knows that they're missing, just to try and get a little bit of consistency.
I mean, that's been the problem for Newcastle. We've seen a different version of them almost every single evening. They've had a different Batman. There's been a different Robin every night. And what you want You want to find that consistency. You want to know what your identity is.
Okay, well, we shall see how they get on. Your game coming up after the break. Your Friday night game here live on Sky Sports. The Newcastle Eagles taking on the Plymouth City Patriots. It's going to be a good one. Todd Harris and Xenia Stewart can take you through.
Thank you, Jeanette. We welcome you to Virtu Motors Arena on a beautiful Friday night here as the Newcastle Eagles come in at 5-7, taking on the Plymouth City Patriots at 2-11. The big story, of course, Xenia, people are still talking about Plymouth City picking up that big victory over the undefeated London Lions. They've got 2 wins on the year, the other one coming against Sheffield. The question is, can they get it done tonight against the Eagles?
I think that's a great question. It's going to be quite difficult, especially when they're in Newcastle. The Newcastle fans are pretty much the 6th man. They're going to have their hands full, but I'm excited for this game.
Ian McDonald, Chris Dodds, and Neil McKelvey will call the action out on the court. Players introduce themselves as
you got to shake the referee's hand. Give him keep me in the game.
I was going to say, if you're Darius Defoe, you probably met all of them, and maybe even their kids.
Very true. 20th season, like the guys in the studio says, well seasoned. Is obviously one of the biggest parts of this British Basketball League.
Plymouth City in their traveling whites, Newcastle in their home blacks, as we are underway on a Friday night on Sky Sports, and it will go the way of the Patriots to start things off. All right, if you're head coach Paul James, congratulations first of all on that 500th win, but Xenia, getting 501 is going to be difficult tonight at the Virtu.
But I just think they take one possession at a time. Don't get too overwhelmed. One good offense, good defense, and keep adding those up.
And if you're the Newcastle Eagles, how do you avoid falling into what they call a trap game? What happened to the London Lions?
Well, I think, they need to be focused, and they've been up and down. They've been playing well in Europe. They're 2 and 3. Yeah. They've won 2 out of 3 games. They're playing well.
I had to wave that one off because it was after the shot clock.
And coach says, my bad, and that's the biggest leader when your head coach says, hey, my fault, guys.
Plymouth City obviously has had a struggle this year at 2-11. They've only got 3 holdovers from last year's team, so it's kind of a revamp. Is this a situation where Coach James is still trying to figure out what he has and what he has coming off the bench?
Yeah, I think so, but we're a couple of weeks into the season now. I feel like they're starting to establish. We've seen them struggle at times, but that huge win versus London Lions, I just felt like that should have been a momentum swing, but the very next game they take an L. So it'll be interesting to see how they bounce back from that.
Spencer Levi off on the point. Again, shot clock winding down under 6 seconds now, and it's going to be Johnson on the up and under for the first bucket of the night. Great move by Taylor Johnson. As Drew Lasker pointed out, he's Ivy League educated.
Yep, and he says probably a +1 as well.
Looking for the +1 as Jordan Johnson falls down, can't get it. The save is made, but it's right into the hands of a Plymouth City Patriot. Looking for a 3. Dusha thought he had one lined up there, can't get it to fall. There is Defoe just off the mark, and Taj Green there for the exclamation point putback.
Now that's a player that we haven't spoken a lot about, who's always at the top. Taj Green is a highlight reel.
All even at 2. We played 10-minute quarters here in the British Basketball League, as Newcastle has made the long journey up north, looking to change their fortunes as of late, coming off their last victory against this Newcastle team, and they were thoroughly beaten that one, as they in 95-68.
Yeah, Plymouth. And I think, you have to have kind of a short-term memory. You do play each other 4 times in a season. It's Defoe there.
Defoe looking for the and one, but he will go to the line. Here's what's great about Taj Green, and you can appreciate this as a post player, always lurking around the hoop.
Yeah, he is, and because he's got such athletic, he gets up so quick. Look at that. But and that's a Plymouth mistake, because they need to put a body on him.
Yeah.
You know, he loves to rebound. We've seen huge highlight reels of him throwing the ball off the backboard last season. So that has to be the top of your scout. Get a body on him and box out and be physical.
Darius Defoe hits the first one, a 64% free throw shooter. We talk a lot about his age. He'll be turning 39 this coming week. He 20-year pro career.
Yeah.
I mean, that was amazing. Drew Lasker's report talking about some of his teammates being 5 and 6 years old when he started playing professionally.
And huge. And Mark Studel also talks about his leadership. The team is 4-1 since he's back. You know, he hurt himself at the beginning of the season.
Right.
In a preseason, he had to slip.
Oh, and a giveaway. Nice little throwdown for the fans. Ricky McGill at 6'1" shows that he can get up. And this is one of those situations early in the first period as we go under 7.5, and it'll be a foul underneath, so it'll stay with Plymouth. Let's go back to that pickoff. Ricky McGill, one of the quicker hands in the league.
Yeah, from Spring Valley, New York. Gets up there.
Good opportunity now for Plymouth to maybe try the outside. Not really known as a three-point shooting team. And that was the announcer, Jakes, but goes right to Elvis Dusha. Goes right back to Johnson, who usually doesn't miss twice. Ball tipped up. Stays again with Plymouth City, so they're active on the offensive boards. Dusha can't get it to fall. And the Patriots finding the rims here in Newcastle a little bit firm, not very friendly. So we're happy to have you with us on Sky Sports on a Friday night. Two teams looking to turn their fortunes around. Newcastle came into this season as looking as one of the teams that could threaten maybe the London Lions.
Well, right now, what I like about Plymouth, they're doing an excellent job on the offensive board. Even though they're missing, they're doing a great job attacking, getting multiple shots. And, you know, ultimately, that's what's going to win you the game.
And those shots will eventually fall. As you always say, shooter's going to shoot, and they will keep firing them up. That ball will stay with the Patriots. Under 7 minutes to play here in the first period. Do you like the pace so far?
I do like this pace. Yeah, it's Friday night, so it's a
showtime.
Fun, yeah.
Had to get that one up because the shot clock was at 2 and it goes awry, so it'll be a ball turned over to the Newcastle Eagles. As we said, they come in to this game 5-7, fresh off that win against these same Patriots where they dominated them, and then they've got to turn around tomorrow and play a very tough Caledonia team.
Listen, that's so tough, and I don't think we talk enough about how hard it is playing back-to-back.
High teardropper can't fall. Number 55, Taj Green, Mr. Active underneath. He had 10 points and 6 rebounds against this team last week, so they're familiar with him. The guy that really did the damage, though, was Ricky McGill. 23 points against the Patriots. They got to shut that down.
Yeah, he was so good. But for me, I think Plymouth need to adjust to Taj Green's efforts on the board.
Yeah.
That's double, multiple possessions now. He's just gone back up with the rebound. You have to put a body on him.
How big of a pickup was it for Coach Mark Studel to get him away from Manchester and here to Newcastle?
Yeah, huge, you know, and I just think he's such an energy player.
Yeah.
You know, he gets the team going. The fans love it.
Yeah.
A huge pickup. I feel like Newcastle did a wonderful job this off-season. You know, upstairs. Went out and they recruited Josh Ward-Hibbett. They went out and got Will Neighbor. They got some solid, lovely pieces to build this team.
No question about it. Now they have an 8-2 lead here. 6:20 to play in the first period on a Friday night on Sky Sports. Driving to the lane, nothing there. Douche is there for the rebound. Kicks it right back out from the free throw line. And again, not friendly rims and the foul from behind.
And yet again, as you said, another rebound. Multiple rebounds.
TJ Atwood this time.
Newcastle aren't doing a good job on the boards.
It's not hurting them right now because the shots just aren't falling, but this is something later in the game. Keep an eye on this. It is just effort plays down below, and that foul's going to go the way of Taj Green. So TJ Atwood, 6'6" guard out of Beaumont, Texas. You can tell Drew's got a little thing for those Texas players. Coming off a 12-point performance against the Eagles in their last meeting just last week.
I love a bit of Texas.
Texas is a great place,
Oh,
right?
I love it, yeah.
But you think of it more as an American football state than a basketball state.
Oh, yeah.
But Drew last year was selling us the basketball thing.
Yeah, the Longhorns had
Yeah.
a great, their typical basketball.
TCU's always got a good squad.
Yeah, the Bullfrogs, I think they're called.
The Horned Frogs.
Oh, Horned Frogs.
And then you've got your Houston Cougars, formerly Phi Slamma Jamma. That one rolls in. Nice shot there as Jordan Johnson penetrates and gets it to kick.
But then they do love their basketball
They
because
do.
they have all the NBA teams.
Yes, they do.
In Texas, a huge state.
Had a little bit of success there with the Spurs. Inadvertent poke to the face of Defoe, and that's going to be a nice putback. Good rotation as Darius Defoe takes a little shot to the chops. Not afraid to fire it up, though, and he backs back. We were talking about this. They do so much better when he's in the starting lineup. Yeah. But Obi touched on it. He doesn't really stuff the stat box. Nice. Up and under because their defender was right on top of it. Spencer Levi was looking to swap that. Great job by the guard using his body to shield.
Just going back to Darius Defoe not stacking the stat line, I just think he does a lot of things that aren't statable. You know what I mean? Look where he is. He knows the defensive scout, helps, moves. Those things you can't stat.
Dusha with a nice feed on the inside, and that's another sweet jam as Jacob Woolley able to throw that one down, the 6'7" forward out of Chicago. Taj Green answered right back on the baseline. So the big men starting to warm up. 14-8, Newcastle leads by 6. You see the Eagles dropping their defense. They're happy to give up. Oh, and that's going to be an and one.
Yep.
Eagles are happy to give up the three-point shot because that's not Plymouth's go-to, but the big fella, best hair in the all-British basketball league, Levi Spencer, gets the N1.
Yeah, Levi. And the thing is, Defoe is really dropping off.
Yeah, no question about it. So it's a 6-point lead. 4:29 to play in the first period. It's a Friday night on Sky Sports. You're watching the British Basketball League. Ricky McGill off to a good start here at the Virtu Motors Arena on a Friday night. 2 big buckets, has his squad out in front by 4, 14-10. 4:38 to play as we rejoin the action. Spencer Levi to the line after converting and the foul. The big 6'8" forward looking to get back into double figures, and he misses that one, but it stays again. Azania, rebounds is the key. Look at this, coming right back to it, turns the and one into 4 points.
Yeah, and I spoke about it, didn't I? Giving themselves second opportunities, and that time they make them pay.
Taylor Johnson streaking down the middle, gets the nice pass and puts it in. So it's a 2-point ball game now as the Patriots are just lurking around. Big deep range shot, and that is not out of the range of Will Neighbor. An excellent outside shooter for a big man.
Yeah, wonderful shooter.
6'10", lets it fly, and the shooting troubles continue from the outside. So the Patriots finding great success, Azania, as they get into the paint, not so much from the outside. And the Eagles kind of just not deciding where they're going to play this one yet. And that's a big foul as Spencer Levi lands on the back of it's Jordan Johnson that took the full brunt.
And such a smart move by Jordan Johnson. Look, takes his time, poised, that little shot fake, gets the big man Levi up, and absolutely takes a hit to the back, the head, wherever you want to. Absolutely
I want no
him,
part of that. No part of the Spencer Levi backpack. So Jordan Johnson will go to the line shooting 82%. Excellent defender, former Caledonia Gladiator.
And with that foul, that's Levi's second foul. So he's
picks up 2 quick ones.
Has to head to the bench.
And this is not a good situation for Paul James because they're already down 4 players. Of course, Mason Faulkner unable to go tonight. And they're going to be a little bit thin. So guys like Atwood, Johnson, Wiley, LVC Dusho, they'll have to play a lot of minutes. There is the venerable Paul James picking up his 500th win against the London Lions, who were previously undefeated. 28th year of coaching, the 2007 British Basketball League Coach of the Year.
So iconic, that win. I'm so happy for him and his team, you know, drenched him with water.
Beautiful inside feed pass as he finds Mekhi Noble, or is it Noble that checked in, or Tyrell Green gets that bucket?
Yeah.
So Green gets the bucket, and now Newcastle only up by 2. Nice head fake and a step back. Josh Ward Hibbert with the rainbow, coming off a 20-point, 11-rebound performance against the Patriots in their last meeting.
Rolled ankle, so we've just stopped play, but going up to this look, fakes and doesn't come in for the jump shot. Stays at the 3, and for me, he came from London Lions and has come to the Eagles. Another pickup from, this season, and it's just getting better and better. He's known for his defense, but boy, oh boy, his offense has come a long way.
So spent some time with the Leicester Riders. You know one little fact about Josh Ward Hibbert? An amazing tennis player. Check this out. His serve, he's clocked at 133 miles an hour. Come on.
That's hurting somebody, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm not returning that. Deep range 3 for the Patriots. Can't get it to fall. Joe Hart just checked into the game, stays with them, and finally a deep range shot comes the way of Tyrell Green as he picks up 5 quick points for the Canadian.
And it's keeping Plymouth as a
foul. That was a beautiful pass.
Yeah.
Foul called before, though.
It's keeping Plymouth in this game. Their offensive rebound is wonderful, working the glass.
And this is the game going on, 37-29, Sheffield and Leicester taking place. All kinds of action going on across the British Basketball League. Big weekend this weekend. Doubleheader tomorrow, doubleheader on Sunday.
Yeah, I'm working the Sunday games. Exciting stuff.
Good stuff. And we got to tip our caps to Jordan Taylor and the London Lions going down to Turkey and getting that big win.
Huge win
in the Euro Cup.
3, they sure did. They've done really well. He's in the studio doing it all, isn't he? Man of many
Renaissance
talents.
man, exactly. Paul James getting an explanation from the officials what exactly that was. So far, Plymouth hanging around, just 2 points down with 2:42 to play in the first period. That goes to the point we were just talking about with Josh Ward Hibbert and his talents. He's a guy that comes off the bench.
Yeah.
And we've said this with other teams. Deep range 3 finds it for Ricky McGill, but it shows the depth of the Newcastle Eagles, a team which, as we said, came in the season with a lot of expectations, getting a big opening night win against the Sharks.
Yeah, depth, but also just he's okay coming in and doing his role and playing his role to the best of his ability. And really, he could be a starter.
Knowing your role and taking part in that, and that's exactly what Josh Ward Hibbert and Mark Studel are doing.
I always call it staying in your lane.
Staying in your lane. Foul away. Here it is one more time. McGill, that's just too easy.
Beautiful, nothing but net, and splashes it home.
That's a scary thing if you get the guards for Newcastle going. Problematic. Ball will not count as Joe Hart hits the 3, and they're going to wave it off. Foul away from it. Oh, they say stepped on the line. That would have been huge. That would have cut it to a 2-point lead. Joe Hart, good to have him back. Missed all of last season because of injury. Great defender, again, when he's healthy, Z.
Yeah, and especially when he gets into that rim shot, unfortunately out, but wonderful to have him back at full health.
Entry pass now down on the baseline. Kicks it out the outside. Malcolm Del Pesh Just checked in the game. This is way too deep for the big man. Makes it easy. Good outside shooter, but you get him that close. Will Neighbor at 6'10". Not going to miss many of those.
I love a Will Neighbor. I always have to shout out Mrs. Neighbor.
Mrs. Neighbor.
Yeah.
Big fan of yours.
Yeah, she is.
3-on-2. Pull up for the three. Why not? Can't get it to fall.
Yeah, Mrs. Neighbor. It was so nice. Will played at London Lions when I did, and he came up to me.
Nice pass. That's a very unselfish play there. Jules Dangakoto kicking it over there and finding his man on the wing, TJ Atwood.
And just going back to that story with myself and Will, and he came up to me and I had never had a conversation. He's like, hey, I just wanted to let you know that my mum says thank you. And I said, for what? He said, well, you speak so kindly and nice of me on air. I said, well, I guess I'll have to shout her out from now on.
So I'm sure Mrs. Neighbor is watching tonight live on Sky Sports as her son's team has the lead 24-20 as we are under 90 seconds to play here in the first period. Plymouth just sticking around, not letting this thing get out of control as Josh Ward-Hibbert now triggering the offense from the outside, spinning move, hanging in the air, and a nice shot as Scott Spencer gets it to fall.
Really pretty spin there.
Normally a three-point specialist, Spencer in traffic. Shot off the mark and back come the Eagles looking to run. Oh, takes the baseline away and gives it over. What a play. Ricky McGill.
Wonderful offense from McGill.
If you're a big and you're playing with Ricky McGill, you better have your hands always at the ready.
Yeah, you have to be ready and probably get him a little gift too on the weekend.
So what was a 2-point lead? Exactly. What was a 2-point lead? And that's a beautiful answer by TJ Atwood, cutting it back down to 5. Nine-second differential between the game and the shot clock. Ricky McGill's going to try to take this one-on-one. He's got Atwood manning straight up. Calls for the screen, takes it. Good defense there and throws it away. And now Plymouth City can play for the final shot. Joe lets it fly. Can't get it to drop. 5 seconds remaining. Half-court shot, and it's going to come up just short. 28-23, it's the Eagles that lead after one period. Ricky McGill trying to get a definition of why he didn't get the call, but he's had a pretty solid first period.
A wonderful, solid period from him. I just felt like he's been aggressive, and
no question about it. Much more from Newcastle. It's the Eagles on top of the Patriots, 28-23. Friday night in Newcastle's Virtue Motors Arena. Paul James looking for win number 501 to get his Plymouth City Patriots their third victory of the season, as they trail right now by 5 as we enter the second period. Todd Harris, Azania Stewart, glad to have you with us on a Friday night in the British Basketball League. Deep range 3 now coming. That time it is off the mark for Josh Ward-Hibbert, and it'll go the way of the Patriots. So first quarter analysis, Azania, I feel like, did Newcastle do enough to distance themselves, or they let Plymouth stick around?
I just think they weren't good, Newcastle, on the offensive, on the defensive boards.
Set.
Yeah, and then obviously McGill, 7 points. He was 3 from 4 from the floor, started off hot.
Yeah, nice dish down below from Jordan Johnson, finally the trailing Josh Ward-Hibbert, picking up his 5th point of the game. Quick shot from straight away. Cold shooting from distance continue for the Patriots. You got to find someone with a hot hand. Beautiful feed. That is a clean dime. I mean, just a bullet bounce pass with precision through the middle.
And right on the money. And Coach James says, that's enough. I've seen enough coming out in this second quarter. 45 seconds and a quick couple of baskets.
So a 32-23. Coach Stoodle's team is off and running. Coach's James squad is looking for answers. Well, breaking the action, let's check in courtside, always at the finest seats in the house. Drew Lasker.
Thanks, Todd. Well, I talked earlier about how Darius Defoe is entering his 20th season. He just celebrated his 39th birthday on Tuesday. And to put that in perspective, Devin Whitfield and Taj Green were 5 years old when he started his career. And as a former teammate of mine, a guy that I had the opportunity to celebrate and win 10 championships, and one of the funniest teammates I've ever been around. But he's not originally from the UK. He comes from a Caribbean island called Dominica. He moved over to London when he was 12, and at age 18 got a phone call from Philadelphia 76ers assistant coach Fab Flournoy. But funny enough, he avoided his phone call for 2 weeks, was persuaded by his mother to pick up the phone. He come to Newcastle 20 years ago, and the rest is history.
The game of basketball brings us all together.
Wow, lovely story there, and especially here in Newcastle. He hasn't left since. The old fine wine himself, 39, 20th season here in the British Basketball League.
Eagle fans love him indeed. And you were talking about the stat before we came on air that they do so much better when they start him. And he doesn't really stuff the stats, but he's just a stabilizing force.
Yeah, they're 4-1 when they're starting him and on the floor.
Cross-court pass, can't get it to fall again, and the Patriots just can't find a bucket from behind the arc. So the Eagles will take over as Mark Stoodle in his second year on a 2-game win streak with these Eagles. As we mentioned, came into the season with a lot of expectations. Big opening night win against the Sharks. They got it 79-72 to kick off the 2023 British Basketball League season. Nice steal takeaway by TJ Atwood. They're still shooting. They don't care. They're not afraid.
Yeah, real quick too in their offense. They don't even move the ball. Maybe a little too quick for me.
Jordan Johnson down to Neighbor. Thought about it, pulled back out, and why not? Falling away. You can't defend that much better, but at 6'10",
yeah,
he's got some range.
Wonderful. He's also a great golfer.
Serious?
Yeah, handicap of 6. He's pretty good in the summer. Spends a lot of time playing the golf, and obviously that jump shot looks good too.
And this one's going to stay here. I think they're going to get Malcolm Delpeche, who came away with the ball. And the Eagle fans do not like that call because they were out and ready to run with numbers. Paul James, though, loved the call.
Yeah.
34-23 with 8:07 to go in the first half.
It's always hard being a referee. You never have home court advantage, you know?
Brutal. But they do a great job when we appreciate them.
Yeah.
Patriots got to find someone with a hot hand from the outside. If not, get it to the inside. Levi kicks it out, and that'll work. They are good from the 2-point line. Jules Dang Akoto.
And much better by the Patriots when they move the ball, when they get it inside and out. That's when you shoot the ball. I don't think you should just come straight down and shoot the ball.
Right on cue, Will Neighbor. Maybe his mom will correct him on that one. You know, Azania just said, don't come straight down and shoot the ball. And you should listen to Azania Stewart. Under 7.5 now. Moving the ball a lot better, finding a man on the baseline, and that leads to a nice inside pass and an and-one opportunity for Tyrell Green, and he has been a quiet force now. The big body down below gets it to fall, takes the foul, and he'll get the and-one.
And wonderful patience by the Patriots as they find the big man. Will Neighbor is hard hedging on that, pick and roll on the defensive end, and then they've got the big guy, but they're taking a bit of time to find him. At that time, they managed to get him.
Plymouth City's doing a good job, and they're going to take a timeout on the court before they take this foul shot. 7:20 to play here in the first half. 23 seconds on the shot clock, and we're all gearing up to one big month. That comes up in January, where the trophy is on the line.
The British Basketball League trophy is back. The stakes are higher. The action is bigger. Here's how it all goes down. All 10 league teams are split into 2 groups of 5. The trophy games are played across 3 weekends in January, where each team plays 4 games within their group, 2 at home and 2 away. The top 2 teams from each group will go into the semi-finals. It all comes down to an epic Final Four weekend at the Utilita Arena in Birmingham on the 27th and 28th of January 2024, with back-to-back semi-finals played on the Saturday, followed by a double-header with the men's and women's finals played on the Sunday. It's time to find the 2024 trophy champions.
And we all look forward to that coming up in January. We will be there in Birmingham.
We will.
That'll be a lot of fun. It'll be interesting to see who is in those final semifinals.
Yeah, live in action. And
the arena's going to be rocking too.
Yes. And just to let you know, I was the MVP of the last trophy.
Oh, I was going to bring that up, but you beat me to it.
Yeah, sorry.
Tyrell Green.
Got to plug myself.
There you go. The and one, and then a foul on the drive as Jules Dangakoto gets called for that one. Just a little too tight on Jordan Johnson, which is saying something in itself. If you keep pace with Jordan Johnson and Ricky McGill, you're doing something. They are both extremely fleet of foot. So it's a 6-point lead. Wouldn't say that Newcastle's dominating this game. And I got to give credit to Plymouth City for sticking around.
Yeah, I think it's the extra effort on the glass on both ends, especially on the offensive glass.
Up and in, easy shot from Malcolm Delpeche, who you of course knows as a twin brother that plays for Sheffield. Marcus.
Delpeche brothers.
There was no defense there. That was an easy one for Jules Dangakoto, who's one of the most attacking players tonight for the Patriots.
Yeah, fantastic drive from him. Just put his head down, straight to the rim.
So if you had to fix Newcastle, because they're at 5-7, I think that's not where they expected to be at this point in the season, what would you say the first thing they need to do to improve?
Great question. I think obviously their defensive side, I think they need to pick up early. But also just staying poised. I feel like they get so high and so low. We've seen them a few moments where they've got a couple of technicals. It's a nice drive. But yeah, I just think a bit more consistency.
They keep the ball that time, so the shot clock is reset back to 14 seconds. Big battle underneath. Taj Green has 2 Patriots on his back, and he was taking Joe Hart to task. Just couldn't get him the ball. So it'll stay with the Eagles. 6 seconds on the shot clock.
They'll look for Taj Green here.
Yeah. Devin Whitfield was checked into the game Green will pull the trigger on a 3 and nothing but net, just like Coach Stewart threw it up.
Told ya.
It's a 9-point lead. This is a situation where we talk about the Sania. You can't let this game get away from you. This is a critical juncture. Need a bucket going to the big man.
Wonderful post move. I love that. Takes his time. Uses his pivot.
Ooh. Oh, that was filthy. That was a filthy pass from Jordan Johnson, the no-look bounce.
Steal.
One too many behind the backs, and Delpeche decides to jump on the floor, showing his coach the hustle. It'll be a jump ball.
Wonderful play by Delpeche. Finish on the other end, and then uses his body and sacrifices
Come on,
and dives
look
on
at this pass. Oh. The wraparound. 41-32, 5:22. Mark Studel's got to be pretty happy the way his team's playing. Probably going to tighten up the defensive end just a bit.
Yeah, I think so. But overall, there on their offense, I think they're just moving the ball, sharing it, executing their plays. A wonderful offensive side, but if they can clean up, especially on the rebounding end, I think they'll blow away this game.
One of the questions that get asked a lot around town is who can compete with London? Who has the athletes that can run with London? And on surface, it looks like the Eagles could.
Yeah.
But I feel like they're one player short. They're one player like a Sam Decker. I mean, of course, no one's going to guard Jordan Taylor, but they're one player short of a swing score kind of player to really put them in that upper echelon.
Well, I think you're right. Jordan Taylor is the key.
Yeah,
He's downstairs. But, they did push London Lions into overtime. That was a wonderful, great game. And I just think, like I said, the consistency, I just think they need to play one play at a time. I think sometimes they just get way too high. But that's the style that they are, having a Taj Green on your team, having a guy like Johnson, just so many pieces that are quite explosive. But I think there's still a long time in the season to go. We don't finish till May.
Spencer Levi can't convert the and one. Just a 43% free throw shooter. Misses that one, so it's a giveaway on that. So they still are down by 7 points as we approach 5 minutes to play here in the first half. Dusha back into the game, guarding Jordan Johnson. Look at that, burst of speed. Beautiful. And he'll get the foul, and everyone holds the hands up. Who got him? Johnson will stroll to the line, and he will get 2 shots. What a player.
Well, total points. Jordan Johnson sits in second with 222. Probably obviously a bit different before this game. No, total in the season so far. He's in second. Obviously, Matt Morgan was player of the month. He's 224. Also in this game is TJ Atwood sitting at 206. He's fourth.
But how about TJ Atwood's minutes?
Yeah.
I mean, come on. It is Iron Man.
And then also Taylor Johnson at 218. He's second. So a lot of scorers in this game.
Yeah. And I think if you're a fan at home, and especially a fan of the Patriots, Taylor Johnson is one of those names you'd like to hear more in this game. If they can get him loose on the outside, free for some open looks, he can bury it from about anywhere 15 and in.
Yeah, he hasn't had many touches.
No. Drifting to the side, and it's off his hands. Almost like they're trying to isolate him into corners and put him in spots where maybe he's not as comfortable. So we're 4:42 to play in the first half. It is Eagles on top from Virtu Motors Arena on a Friday night on Sky Sports. 43-34 with 4:41 to play here from Virtu Motors Arena on a Friday night in Newcastle. Eagles lead the Patriots as Paul James looks to try to get win number 501. He's sitting at 500, and it was a big one. He took down the London Lions, who were previously unbeaten. But tonight, he's run into a different monster with Newcastle. They have got such good guard play across the board, and everyone relatively healthy other than Larry Austin Jr. not playing tonight.
Yeah, and they're struggling. Jordan Johnson obviously doing his thing, came out early. McGill also has 7 points. But you're right, they have their hands full, especially with this guy.
These teams just played each other last week, and it was a resounding victory for the Eagles. 95-68, that wild shot up and in. No foul called. And, yeah, the whistle was there. I never heard a whistle, and I don't think many of the Patriots did either. And McGill said, well, it definitely was foul, so give me my 2. So they'll bring the white jersey-clad Patriots back down to this end of the court, get them set. And Ricky McGill will go to the line. Young man out of Spring Valley, New York, played his college ball at Iona, coming off a 23-point performance against these Patriots just a week ago, averaging just over 16 a game, 43% from beyond the arc.
I think that's such a difficult, especially the Patriots. Obviously, you lose just a week ago, like you said, 68-95. You have to have the short-term memory even quicker, because usually you have a bit more time, you know, to scout. But I guess that scout's fresh. You just get it out of your bag because it's only in there last week.
And a quick turnaround for them. Speaking of quick turnarounds, tomorrow, the Newcastle Eagles will travel to Caledonia to play back-to-back games, and that's something we don't see an awful lot here in the British Basketball League, and it usually doesn't bode well for the team that's coming into the second half of that back-to-back.
Nobody's won a back-to-back yet, have they?
It's tough. A lot of parity, especially in those positions right in the middle of the pack right now where the Newcastle Eagles find themselves. Obviously, Bristol's looking very good this year. Cheshire's looking good as well. Great interior defense there. Douche is able to get the pass and put it back in and cannot get the easy finger roll to fall. Thought he had an easy bucket. Transition back to a deep range 3 off the front of the iron. Knocked away, and it's going to stay with... It's like the Patriots are going to take it.
Douche needs to make that wide open layup.
That's just not going to get many easy looks like that.
No, you're not. I mean, I get it's a left-hand layup, but come on. I loved using my left hand.
Really?
Yeah, always.
You dunk with your left or your right?
Oh, yeah, of course. No, I used to love turning back to my left hand. I've really worked on it.
Ooh, that's a big white step. Taylor Johnson had to work for the official. Maybe it was glad you didn't call traveling, but I could have taken it down 1 if you were so kind. Deep range 3 comes that way, and now Patriots looking to get back-to-back buckets after a stop there. Johnson, Dusha, hard off the rim, and more rebounds coming for the Patriots. They may not be shooting well from the outside, but Azania, they are crushing it on the boards.
Yeah, they are a menace on the boards. I think if Newcastle go into this halftime, hey, lads, what can we do better? It is boxing out and rebound. Not good enough. And this is how Plymouth, you know, are getting the momentum. Green there, timed that perfectly. Nobody boxed him out. But then also, you know, I just feel like they were much better in transition also.
Tyrell Green is 100% free throw shooter. He shot 3.
How'd you do that?
He's 3 for 3.
Why'd you do that to him?
I just looking at his stats. I'm just saying, I was looking at his stats.
Let that man be great, Todd.
I hope he keeps it that way. Getting some nice points for him off the bench as he is averaging just about 5 points a game. And he keeps it going.
And also, we're talking about Taylor Johnson, that last possession, him driving straight to the rim. He hasn't had enough touches, in my opinion.
So critical point of this first half as Plymouth City tries to stave off. Hard pick there. Up and under, takes on 2. Nice block there from Levi. Again, another block, back-to-back blocks, and here come the Patriots off and running. Green with the Euro step, and he gets a little taste of his own medicine as it is blocked out of bounds. Great recovery there by Ricky McGill.
Not in our house, because definitely it was a tough arcs down on the other end. Back-to-back blocks. Block party.
I'm telling you what, Jordan Johnson got a taste of that, but look at Ricky McGill comes back and said, I may be only 6'1", but I can swap with the best of them.
Anyway, it's out of bounds.
19 seconds, plenty of time on the shot clock. No need to rush this one. Under 3 minutes to play in the first half. 44-38. Newcastle on top. Turnaround and drops. Wow, what has gotten into Tyrell Green? He is stepping up in a big-time way for head coach Paul James. Taj Green stays with it. Might have gotten away with a travel there, but he was bumped pretty hard. But Green stays with it and gets the bucket.
Doing what he does best. He works so hard on the offensive glass.
Dusha tries to turn the corner. Has Johnson there. Lost his footing momentarily. Decides to kick it to the outside. Green with the hot hand. Deep range three. Why not? Why not? Not sure that is in their normal playbook rotation, but Green back-to-back buckets, and he is keeping the Patriots alive as they trail just by 3. Right now, let's send it back to the studio. Jeanette Kwachi, Ovi Soko, and Jordan Taylor.
Thank you very much, Todd and Azania. Tyrell Green for the Patriots doing bits on the court this evening. But Ovi, we are going to be speaking about Ricky McGill, that Newcastle defense, Jordan Johnson, all to come in at halftime.
100%, you know, Ricky McGill, he got off to an absolutely smoking start. Jordan Johnson doing what he's been doing all year, getting his teammates involved. He does an absolutely incredible job of penetrating the defense, getting into the paint, and kicking out and finding guys.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, just reading the defense in general. When they hedge, he's finding the big man in the short roll. When they're in the drop defense, he's finding the weak side guy for the 3. And as Ovi said, they're just controlling the game, that backcourt.
Well, what can we see? The score's getting nice and close now. It's not a game the Patriots want to throw away, is it?
Not at all. And Tyrell Green, you know, he's doing a great job off the bench. I've been absolutely impressed with him. But Josh Ward-Hibbert, he's continuing where he left off last week. He had an MVP performance off the bench, and he's giving them that punch from the Newcastle side of things at the moment.
It should be good. Ovi, Jordan, you'll be with me at halftime. We'll also hear from Paul James during halftime as well. We can hand you back to Todd and Azania.
All right, thank you, Jeanette. We appreciate it. Tyrell Green, 5-point average, and now look at him coming off the bench and giving a big boost. 15 points, triple what he normally gets. And we're in the first half.
He's definitely hot. He's 5 from 8 from the floor, feeling good. And why not? Sometimes it's your night, and when you see that ball go in one time, it's all you need.
3-point game with 2:15 to play. Is this another night where Plymouth comes up big as they're in foreign territories? They made the long drive up to Newcastle, trying to knock off the Eagles. Get their 3rd win of the season. Big man rolls, can't get it to fall. Darius Defoe showing he's still got a little something left. Can't get that one to drop. Now an opportunity for Plymouth to tie or cut it to 1. Not to be.
Yeah, heat check for Green.
Yeah.
Just had to check. He was still on fire.
No one guarding underneath. That was just too easy of a bucket. As Obi was talking about, Josh Ward-Hibbert, one of the talented veterans coming off the bench for head coach Mark Studel and making his contributions there with an easy 2.
Wonderful backdoor.
Taylor Johnson, and that's just a giveaway. Too quick of hands. Oh, and beautiful defense there leads to a Taj Green dunk. Almost a spectacular turn for the Patriots, but Taj Green. And they're going to wave that one off. You know what you learn in 20 years of professional basketball? How to take a charge.
Well, I wouldn't be taking the charge.
You wouldn't take that?
No, I sure didn't.
You would have done the full Olay, right?
I would have just blocked the shot.
I'm not taking the charge. I'll just block the shot.
Look at this. Great timing. Pins it on the backboard, but nobody comes with his back up. Taj Green.
Just great credit to Jacob Wiley for getting back on defense. Unfortunately, he almost gets the assist on a beautiful dunk from Taj Green. So it was a 3-point game. It quickly has gone up to a 7-point game, 106. Newcastle, we've seen their lineup. We've talked about this before, Z. The Eagles have the talent to go on these runs.
They do, and you know, that one we saw them still ran through the passing lane, made an easy bucket, and that's how they open this huge lead from, like you said, 3 points. The quick blink of an eye is 30. So Plymouth need to come out of this timeout, execute on offense, and get a good stop before.
Taylor Johnson, who had 18 points in the last meeting just under a week ago, is sitting on 6 points tonight. Atwood has 8. So the Eagles doing a good job on those players individually, and now they just have to figure a way to stop Tyrell Green. Off the bench, averaging 5 points a game, has 15 points here in the first half.
Well, I think, you know, with so many injuries this week, Mason Faulkner was a huge part of their offense. He's out, and this is when you get opportunities like this. Other guys on the bench that don't play a lot now have to step up.
Yeah, they are shorthanded, no question about it. And again, they've got a big, tough game coming up on the 24th. They go to Manchester, and then the 26th, they'll be home against Surrey. 7 points now. We come up on the final minute of play here in the first half on a Friday night on Sky Sports. Welcome our American fans watching back in the 50 states. Beautiful kick to the outside. Josh Ward-Hibbert with an arcing three. Can't get it to fall. Dusha now pushes it. Great job by Taj Green to get in the way of the passing lane. 20 seconds on the shot clock. 7-point deficit for the Patriots. And these are the opportunities where Coach Mark Studel's going to try to shut them down defensively. I'm sure he said something during that timeout. Keep Tyrell Green off that three-point line.
Please. And thank you.
Trying to get the ball to Johnson. Taylor Johnson now. Isolated one-on-one. Dusha. Nice feed. Dusha with a nice drop-off pass to Spencer Levi for the easy two.
Great job by Levi. I always say, do you know Incredibles, the baddie from Incredibles? Yeah. I always say Levi looks like him. You have to go ahead and Google it.
Okay. 2-second differential between the shot and game clock. Splits the lane and blocked, and again it's Wiley with a beautiful defensive play there to stave off what would have been an easy bucket. How about that? Jacob Wiley may not get a lot of points, but two great blocks in the last 2 minutes.
Great timing again. He just absolutely goes up there and takes the ball off the rim.
Oh, wow. And what could have been a 7, even an 8-point lead for Newcastle, they will take a 5-point lead into the half as they lead it 50-45 over the visiting Patriots, who they beat soundly just a week ago. So some defense that probably needs to be tightened up.
Yep.
But they're looking pretty good with that 5-point advantage.
Yeah, and I think this benefits Plymouth.
Right now, let's send it down to Drew Lasker, who's standing by with Jordan Johnson.
Jordan, you seem to be the most consistent player on this team all season. How have you been able to fit yourself in?
Just the work I put in. I'm always confident in what I do, so just going out there and just playing my game, that's all.
Plymouth seem to be causing havoc on the offensive glass, keeping them in this game. What will Coach be saying at the half?
We got to box out, rebound, and go. One shot, limit it to one shot. We know they top in offensive rebound, something like that, so we just got to keep rebounding and going.
Thanks for your time. Good luck in the second half.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Back to you guys.
Well, we'll be back with halftime analysis right after this. Welcome back to the British Basketball League. The Eagles lead the Patriots 50-45. Newcastle just about in control, but they need to work on that defense if they want to hold on to this lead. The Patriots not looking as dominant as we saw against London, but with 5 points in this game, it could be anyone. This is one, Jordan Taylor, that Newcastle will not want to throw away.
Yeah, the offense is clicking, but you have to guard. 45 points against Plymouth is too many.
And we have a look at these stats here. Ovi, anything that jumps out for you?
I mean, it's pretty even across the board. Plymouth, they won't want to turn the ball as much as they have in the first half. They're just allowing Newcastle to sort of get into that transition game. That's where they're very, very good, and they have a lot of success. So they want to cut down on the turnovers, but it's a very, very even game, and that's why the score is very close.
It's a competitive game. We can get into exactly why that is. Jordan Johnson on fire. Jordan, he's been looking great.
Jordan Johnson looked incredible. He's not shooting the ball well, only 1 for 6. But as a point guard, when your shot's not going in, one way you can get involved is get your teammates involved. You start feeling good about yourself. Drop somebody, got behind the back. Ain't nothing over there, as you know.
Real point guard speaking here.
Dropped it with the right, looking real good. He's leading the team. He's controlling the game without scoring, which is a very hard thing to do. As you see right here, him getting down in transition, running the lanes well. That's my dog right there, Josh Ward-Hibbert. That's what he does, is find the soft spots. He's great to play with as a point guard. There's one of the easier assists that he's going to get, just throwing it into a big fella. Turnaround jumper, Will Neighbor with that sweep over the left shoulder. And this is what we talking about. Puts my man in the spin cycle, drops him, gets the screen. Yeah. Ain't nothing over there. And then drops it around the big fella. That's pretty.
But this is what we're talking about. I think identity was seeing that when Jordan Johnson has the ball in his hands, good things happen for the Newcastle Eagles. They have a lot of guys that can be very, very effective. But he needs to be the go-to guy. He's been very consistent. He's scored a lot. And we're seeing it here tonight.
But then this is the thing, Ovi, if they want to be able to hold on to this lead, they're going to have to work on that defense. We are seeing that is where there's a chink in their arm.
The defense, I feel like this is something that Mark Stewart's going to want to talk to these guys about. Hands down, lackadaisical, and they've just been a step slow, 1 step behind on each play. And to me, this is focus. This is focus. Because when you look at the matchups, I feel like they match up very, very well against these guys. But giving up cuts down the middle of the paint, that just comes down to communication. Here again, another communication one. There's a mismatch down there. Help him out. And if you let guys get to positions where, you know, they're professionals, they'll score if you give them easy opportunities.
And that's exactly what Tyrell's doing. Tyrell Green coming off the bench, he's really showing out. And he's showing actually could be the guy to get them back into this game, the Patriots.
Yeah, Tyrell Green, 15 points off the bench, only 10 points off the bench in the last outing, I believe. 19 tonight, he's got 15 of them. Doing it in every way. Offensive rebound, there you see right there. From the 3-point line, he hit a turnaround fade. Right here, Josh Ward-Hibbert's a very, very good defender. That's a little MJ, that's a little Kobe over the I'm showing love
You're
today.
giving flowers tonight, Jordan. You really are.
I'm showing love. And there's a Newcastle miscommunication on defense. Look, Plymouth is last in the league in scoring, 77 points a game. When you get a spark like that off the bench, that's big. And for Newcastle, 96 points a game and losses, 77 in wins, so they got to tighten that up.
They've got to tighten up, and we should see how they get on in that second half. We'll be back with that right after this. Welcome back to the British Basketball League live on Sky Sports tonight, where we're featuring the Newcastle Eagles and the Plymouth City Patriots. The halftime score here, 50-45. 12 days ago, in the surprise result of the season so far, Plymouth broke London's 12-game winning streak, a huge achievement for the club, but it was also an incredible landmark for their head coach, Paul James.
Strangely enough, I said to the guys, it'd be amazing to get my 500th win in that game against London at home in front of our fans.
Throws it up. Oh my
It
goodness!
was our most complete, perfect game that we played this season.
Players to celebrate the 500th victory for the great Paul James.
Where did it all begin?
I guess as a player, you know, playing for my hometown team in Leicester, you know, as a 17-year-old, kind of started there, and that in itself was an amazing thing. The fact that somebody, you know, thought I was good enough to pay me to play something I'd love playing anyway. So that's me there as a young 17-year-old. And then, you know, obviously got the coaching role back in '97. I feel it was one of those situations where it was a sink or swim, and I certainly swam, and it's been very successful for me. The bowling pin, yes, the bowling pin. So this was, we had a sort of team building. I did tell everybody that I am the bowling pin king. They never believed it, but clearly, you know, I came out with another trophy, wiped the floor with those boys. All I wanted to do is treat people as I want to be treated. That's with respect. I love what I do. I still enjoy getting up in the morning and working with these young guys and trying to improve them and get them to a better place. Give my best, give my all, and just pass my experiences on.
Incredible stuff. Great celebrations as well, but 500 league wins, Obi. That is such an incredible achievement for him. And he's a nice guy as well.
Terrific guy. And 500, that's very, very special. But that says two things for me. I think it shows me his consistency, because to get to that number, you have to be incredibly consistent, and his ability to adapt, you know, because over the years, the players have changed, the style of players changed, and how you have to coach guys has changed. So it's a real testament to how he's been able to learn, adapt, and constantly grow as a coach.
Grow as a coach, but get the best out of his players as well, Jordan.
Yeah, you mentioned he's a nice guy. The only way that you can get guys, one thing I noticed about playing against him is they always play hard. They'd be 2-11, they could be 9-9. Those guys, they play hard. And the only way you get that out of players is to have your players like you and to have that likability, and he clearly does have that.
Well, let's see what he can do during this halftime break to get the Patriots back on track. But not only that, it's week 10 in the British Basketball League. What have we got coming up? Look at that, 3 games that are happening tonight. We'll come back to those in a second. But tomorrow, the Surrey Scorchers take on the Bristol Flyers at 5 o'clock on our YouTube channel. And then Caledonia Gladiators against the Newcastle Eagles at 8. Then on Sunday, Manchester Giants against the London Lions at 3 o'clock, and then Cheshire Phoenix take on Surrey Scorchers at 6. All of those on our YouTube channel, but you can see the scores just up there that are happening tonight. The Sheffield Sharks currently leading by 6 against the Leicester Riders. Bristol Flyers 59-50 against Manchester Giants, and of course our game tonight on Sky Sports, 50-45, the Newcastle Eagles and the Plymouth City Patriots. And we can head down courtside. Drew is with Mark Stutel.
Coach, strong half offensively, but the Plymouth City Patriots seem to make a living on the offensive glass. What was your message at the half?
Exactly that. You know, I think we had 5 offensive rebounds at the half on Sunday, 8 total in the game, and we gave them 9 in the first half. It's unacceptable. We have to find a way to tidy up the glass.
Thanks for your time. Good luck in the second half, Coach.
Thank you. Thanks.
Well, here we go. Second half incoming. Newcastle Eagles and the Plymouth City Patriots. We can hand you back to Todd Harris and Azania Stewart, who will take you through the rest of the game.
All right, thank you, Jeanette. 50-45 as we get ready to start the second half. And we've got some great action coming for you tonight on the British Basketball League. We'll keep an eye on that Sheffield game. Exciting as they are, just 6 points separated. But this one, tell you, Zania, if they don't do something about the rebounding, it's going to be a problem. London Lions taking on the Newcastle Eagles. That's still to come. And you'll see that taken up on Thursday. That'll be next week. That'll be our Sky Sports Game of the Week. We will be with you from Thursday. Start at 7:30 and then the tip-off at 7:45. Coach Stoodles make the adjustments. Of course, everyone's talking right now about Plymouth and their rebounding. They do trail by 5, so Newcastle doesn't need to panic, Azania. But as you talked about, be patient, take one possession at a time.
Yeah, but I also want to talk about Newcastle's defense, as the guys in the studio said. Right. You know, if they rebound, they would be up 20 right now. Right. So their defense has to you know, go up a notch. But for me, Taj Green, 13 points. It's the Green show. Taj Green and Terrell Green both have 15 and 13 points, so doing very well, the Greens.
So here we go as we start the second half here from the Virtus Motor Arena. 5-7. The Newcastle Eagles would love to go to 6-7 before a tough part of their schedule comes up. And of course, Plymouth City would love to pick up their third victory of the season after that signature win over the London Lions. And of course, the other win coming from Sheffield. Any way that Coach Paul James can make an adjustment of what he has, and we've talked about they are down almost 4 players on the night because of injury. Do you see a different rotation that he goes to maybe manufacture points, play small ball, get guys like Spencer Levi more involved in the offense?
I do think you do emphasize the ball to go into your post guy early in the offense, and that just opens up everything else. But it's tough when you have guys out. Everyone's got to step up.
I think it was a great comment the guys at the half made. If you get the ball in the hands of Jordan Johnson, good things usually happen. So Jordan Johnson running the point for those Eagles as we are still at 50-47. 3 points for the Patriots just sticking around. The other Johnson kicking out. Dusha. Just not set. TJ Atwood had it. And there's a player that you'd love to see get involved. His defense has been stellar. Jacob Wiley, 6'7" forward out of Chicago.
But yet again, another opportunity on the glass. Wiley goes and gets it and then puts it back.
Taj Green tries to answer back, and so now an opportunity for the Patriots to take the lead with a basket. I mean, they have been down by as much as 10 points as Zany, and here they are now with the opportunity to take the lead.
Yeah, and I was worried about this for Newcastle, that if you let the Patriots stick around, they'll get themselves going.
Wiley up and under, wild shot there, can't keep it. Ball kept alive by Dusha, and with the shot clock winding down, has to put up a shot, and it's going to be a loose ball foul as Taj Green looks like he landed on the leg of Jacob Wiley.
Yeah, this is
like
good.
Both guys are okay. Yeah, that's good.
Great sportsmanship.
Yeah.
And both jumping jacks. And then just falls on his ankle. So luckily it just turns at the right time. But also I think Plymouth, like you said, what does Coach James, maybe changing their defenses, and that's what we saw them, and that's how they got that win against London Lions. They threw a zone, different multiple looks in the zone. Yeah, then they went to a man, then they went to a matchup. So they did very well in that aspect.
Well, he's got 500 wins, so he obviously knows what he's doing. Paul James now looking for the secret sauce to get them the lead, and that shot off the mark, and it's taken away cleanly, and back comes Atwood now, looking for an open Patriot. Wiley. Oh, big move with the left hand, and look at this. Plymouth on top by 1.
Wiley asking for the and 1 there, had a case. Wonderful finish over Taj Green.
Jordan Johnson with a almost point-blank miss there as he gets up in amongst the tall trees and can't get it to fall. Substitution coming now, looking for some height, and Josh Ward-Hibbert will check in for Coach Stoodle.
Yeah, looks a little unhappy. Plymouth back in this game. It was a 5-point game at halftime, and that's what I said. Plymouth is just going to stay around, but especially the way they've been offensive rebounding, I can't, say it enough. That just gives you multiple possessions, multiple looks at the basket, and ultimately keeps you in the game. And winning this game at this point.
Yeah, you wonder if Coach Stoodle told his players, don't be Eagles in the second half, be Vultures. Circle around and try to put them away and see if you can pick them off. But in this case, it is a nice run and a nice pass and an and 1 for Josh Ward-Hibbert. And once again, Jordan Johnson with the clean pass.
Oh, right on the money. And he comes right off the bench and makes an impact. Look at this. No look pass. Right in the hand.
Come on.
And an and 1.
And you can appreciate that. If the bigs are going to run, you got to hit them in stride, and you got to hit them right in the sweet spot, right in the hands.
Yeah, and
don't make them go high or low.
No, you're right.
I'm not making Azania Stewart go down to her shoes to pick this thing up.
I'm not catching it. It's a turnover on you.
7:07 to play here in the third. Newcastle has retaken the lead by 1. Their lead was as high as 10, as Azania pointed out. They had a 5-point lead at the half, same lead that they had after the first period. Hibbert can't get it to fall. So Josh Ward-Hibbert, who had 20 points in the last game, making his presence felt here, giving the Eagles the lead. And this is where I think you'd have to be concerned a little bit if you're a Patriots fan, Azania, and Coach Paul James. They got a lot of basketball still to play, and they've already played some heavy numbers, and they are reduced in roster. You wonder if the guy's legs are going to give out.
Yeah.
Not those legs. Jordan Johnson has no problems getting to the hole.
Yeah, just went on TJ Atwood. Yeah.
6:37 to play, 54-51. The Eagles trying to reassert their power. They had a 5-point lead at halftime, Azania, and it looks like right now they're just trying to find some rhythm. But as the guy said at halftime, get the ball in the hands of Jordan Johnson.
Yeah, and he kind of said that, you know, at halftime. He said he wanted to box out, rebound, and go, and that was a perfect, you know, vision of that, especially when they're doing well on the defensive. It can turn into quick offense.
Dusha with the lead. Beautifully done by Spencer Levi to trail. A big 6'8" forward. Big body down the lane. Oh, and we've got ourselves an old-fashioned 4-point play.
100% a foul. And this is huge. You know, a big momentum play, but the referees are all over it this year. Green doesn't let him land safely, fouls him, and he goes to the line for 4 points.
So Jordan Johnson, almost a guarantee, an 83% free throw shooter, coming off a great performance the last time these teams met. Jordan Johnson now looking to knock this one down and push the lead back to 5.
He just knows how to score, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Puts himself in some,
player.
Yeah, great successful places, makes his way, gets himself to the line. That's a 4-point play. Huge.
Patriots keep running that high-low screen, and they're running that, in this case, Jordan Johnson. Nice stab. Taylor cannot get it to fall. Taylor Johnson with a beautiful pump fake to the left. Found himself wide open. Now it's McGill. And the place would have gone nuts here at the Virtu Motors Arena. His fans are now back into this one after their squad dropped to 1-point deficit, back up on 5.
I didn't like that transition defense by the Plymouth Patriots. I felt they're sticking with their man. They're not helping each other out. How does he get a wide open shot? You know, you have to help each other, especially if a man's down, or, you know, you've got to help each other.
Oh, and again, he was trying to lead Spencer Levi into a possible alley-oop, but just a little too much on it. And that goes back to my point I was bringing up a second ago about Paul James and what he can do in the waning moments of this game to give his guys a little breather. Would you switch the Patriots defense to maybe a zone, a 2-3 zone?
Yeah, I mean, but then you also give up the paint, especially when you've got Taj Green. Rebounding is a difficult thing when you're in a zone. I don't think so. With Defoe and Green in, I wouldn't go to a zone.
Pass underneath, saved by Green. Ball knocked away, and it's going to be Josh Ward-Hibbert. They're going to say he's in the act of shooting. He'll go to the line.
TJ Atwood, lucky not to get a technical foul.
Yeah, players, yeah. There's see the situation going on in the other game going on tonight. 81-73 with Leicester and Sheffield in a good one.
Yeah, Pipkins
scored
a lovely long half-court shot.
Josh Ward-Hibbert has such an arc on his shot, whether it's a free throw or three-pointer. I don't know if you're ever going to block that.
Yeah, literally hits the roof and comes back down, doesn't it? It's a rainbow, yeah. Hey, you got me, Jinx.
Josh Ward-Hibbert, a nice pickup, played for the London Lions last year. Now it's an opportunity for Plymouth to see if they can answer back.
I do love the Newcastle fans. They're just they love their basketball. Newcastle. Shout them out.
Ball knocked away. Good hands there as Tyrell Green was trying to get it down to Spencer. And they're going to say it's on the ground with Jordan Johnson calling for an act of shooting because I think he thought he was beyond the three-point arc. 60-53. Newcastle trying to put Plymouth City away here in the third period on a Friday night on Sky Sports. 7-point ball game as Newcastle, the homestanding squad of the Virtu Motors Arena, has the lead over the visiting Plymouth City Patriots. 60-53, 4:59 to play in the third, and it's Jordan Johnson to the line. He has been a little bit of everything tonight for Mark Studel and the Eagles. He has run the point, he has delivered from the outside as Zania, but he runs this offense so efficiently.
He really does, and he's made Plymouth, really have to pay a tough defense against him. I think he's made his way and scored in multiple ways. He's driven to the lane, he's taken his jump shots, and he's just a flat-out scorer.
And Ricky McGill has done a great job handling Taylor Johnson so far tonight as he picks up the foul there. Taylor Johnson, of course, had 18 points when they played each other last week, and he is well off that mark tonight. He has just not been able to find his rhythm. Had a couple shots early on, but just cannot get in that rhythm, sitting on 6 points right now.
I think this is a real moment for Plymouth, a real vital part of the game. They've got to answer, they've got to execute.
Ooh, deep range three, and why not? There he is again, Tyrell Green. Deep range three, and gets it to fall.
Yeah, just where he left off in the first half. He had 15 points in the first half, having to step up big minutes with Mason Faulkner out tonight.
18 points on the night for a guy that averages just over 5 a game, so he is giving Paul James the boost that he needs, with several players not able to go tonight here in Newcastle. What a way to start your weekend if you're Tyrell Green.
Tough pass by many guys, never going to get through.
Oh, wow, another beautiful dish from Jordan Johnson as he leaves it for Malcolm Delpeche.
And that's Newcastle basketball.
Yep.
When they play wonderful defense, then they can get out. They're unstoppable, as the motto of unbeatable basketball, and that is wonderful by them, and that's how they're going to win this game. They've got to play tough on the defensive end.
One of the few mistakes on the evening for Jordan Johnson as he picks up the foul trying to get Taylor Johnson.
But look at that pass by Levi, just puts it straight into traffic. Here they are, put on the Jets. Get an easy bucket by defense.
Gotta love a point guard that plays with his eyes always up. That ball almost picked off, and it is a turnover as Ricky McGill, for about the 4th time tonight, stepped in the way of the passing lane and creates the turnover.
Mike Strudel, you see him, he said yes on that defensive end. He knows how big, and this is such a momentum play.
Oh, look at that, just up and around, and he gets Jules Dangakoto, who looked like he took a shot to the midsection from Johnson, but Johnson stays with it, weaves and bobs his way through the lane. Everyone thinks he's going to the hole, and of course, unselfishly, he dishes it.
Yeah, I told you this is a dangerous part in the game. If Plymouth don't get it together, Newcastle really quick. We've seen the lead go from 3 to 13, and this is a lovely pass. Johnson doing it all this evening.
I think you would do well playing with Jordan Johnson at the point.
I think so, I really do think so. I have great hands. I caught everything, my point guards or any player. That was a big part of my offense, is all you need to do is catch the ball.
Well, just a short time ago, we had a bucket that you'll definitely want to see, so while we have a timeout, let's take it. Jalen Pipkin, this is a end of the quarter situation. Watch this. Just like they drew it up.
Wow. And you know what I love about it? When he gets the rebound, he looks up at the clock to see how much time. Such a big moment. Look at this. Throws it up there. Should be some money in the bank for that shot.
And that just got to be as a player. You go in and the guy just buries a three just at the horn. Ugh. We'll keep an eye on that score. Leicester and Sheffield doing battle tonight as we are trying to listen in now to head coach Paul James and his squad.
Yeah,
I'd agree.
Yeah, I would agree too. They talk about the defense, they need some stops. Also a great timeout there where he draws a play that emphasizes that they need to get some stops on the defensive end.
Full disclosure, 83-76 is the other game. Sheffield leading Leicester. Keep an eye on that score as well. We're 66-56. Newcastle was trailing just a few moments ago, and now they have themselves a 10-point lead. And just to cue on what Obi Soko and Jordan Taylor said in the studio, good things happen when Jordan Johnson handles the ball. So after the and one attempt, they'll get another reset on the shot clock as it's down to 5. Look at this. See parts like Moses, and he gets the and one. Jordan Johnson is a one-man wrecking crew in Newcastle.
Yeah, puts his head down. Look at this. Crosses over, takes the hit. Could have been a foul earlier on. Takes on 2 men and 1 and the growl. Well deserved.
2 Patriots at once and the and one.
Yeah, he's a strong guy.
Tell you what, he has been laser focused tonight, and he has clearly been the difference maker for the Eagles because he has calmed that offense down when they've been a little raggedy, and he's just been on point.
Well, really in his prime, you know, 28 years old.
Yep.
Prime time basketball, well seasoned, been around the block. Played in Germany last season and also played for Glasgow Rocks, now Caledonia Gladiators.
Plymouth City in desperate need of a hoop here. They can't come away with an empty possession. Joe Hart, happy to oblige. Joe Hart knocks down that, big time. Guy that sat out all of last season because of injury and now coming off the bench for head coach Paul James. Back to 10. Got ourselves a steal here, so the Patriots are not going quietly into the night. And an unforced error there, so turnover back to the Eagles.
Yeah, and they can't afford that, you know. TJ Atwood gets a wonderful steal. Now they're off to the races and they turn it over. And look, I really like this offense. As he hits that 3, they gave up a good shot for that better shot. Still a 10-point game.
He's taking that no-shave November to heart. Serious business there.
A couple of people here.
Oh, Ricky McGill showing his handle.
Do you do that? Can you grow facial hair?
Nah. I know where my strengths and weaknesses are. Delpesh. Oh, up and off the glass.
Well, that's one of his strengths.
Oh, sorry, Scott Spencer. Oh, Delpesh.
No,
it was Delpesh. The double 2. 22. Cross court, Hart, feet set, lets it fire. And the Eagles will take over. 1:52 here in the third. It's 71-59, and this is the point we talked about, Azania, at the start of the game and before. Will Plymouth City run out of gas towards the end because they're shorthanded?
Yeah, I thought that was a great point. You know, they are a couple, 3-4 men down. A lot of guys having to play a lot of minutes. I felt like they were doing a good job, especially if they were going to offensive rebound as well as they had in the first.
And it's tough when you guys are playing as hard as they can shorthanded, and the other team is bringing in guys like Josh Ward-Hibbert and big 6'10" Will Neighbor off the bench, fully rested.
Yeah, that's tough. There's Jordan Johnson's stat line, wonderful stat line. Still a lot of games to play. 17 points, 2 rebounds, 9 assists.
Oh, he's going to get the double-double.
Ah, beautiful day at the office.
Can I just say he's in the running for the Azania Stewart Player of the Game?
Oh, I think so.
He's got a chance.
Well, I get to decide that, and then right now he's the man in front.
So you're saying there's a chance. 90 seconds to play in the third period, 71-59. Josh Ward-Hibbert steps right up and drills that. He came off a great performance when these teams played last time. Of course, 20 points, 11 rebounds, so he knows the thing about double-doubles.
Yeah.
Mark Studel loves having that for a guy coming off the bench.
I love that, you know, and I don't think people give, off the bench, what we call it, the sixth guy, enough credit, because you really need guys like that. People get so caught up in, I'm a starter or not, but really you can be such a great player, but also for me it's who finishes the game.
Yeah, and I had a coach that said the same thing. Anyone can start a game. I want to see who's going to finish a game. Deep range 3. Green has been the hot hand, but he can't get it there, but he gets a nice assist there from TJ Atwood, who puts it in, and they pick up the 2. Down to 12. And back to 15.
Incredible.
Wow.
Johnson running at him.
And Scott Spencer just teed that one up. That's confidence. Feed the hot hand.
Why are they leaving Green wide open? Silly mistake by Newcastle. He is unstoppable right now, and Will doesn't even get a hand to him.
Green now with 20 points as Josh Ward-Hibbert makes us quickly forget about that last basket. He comes back and gets another one. Taylor Johnson's been very quiet, handling the ball right now for Plymouth City Patriots. Young man out of Dartmouth, same school as Aaron Wright. Two great players in the British Basketball League. So they're going to get a little isolation going here. And a deep range three other than Green has not been a friend of the Patriots. Hibbert loses the handle, no travel called. Shot clock was coming down, and the game clock as well. Had to hoist that one up quickly, and a nice piece of defense there by TJ Atwood to block the shot and not get the foul. We've got a good one in Newcastle. What a way to start your weekend. It is all Eagles all the time. Great way to start your weekend, especially if you're an Eagles fan. They're up by 15. As we get ready to start the fourth period, we check in down on the court, and Drew Lasker.
Thanks, Todd. Well, Taylor Johnson comes from Dallas, Texas, which is about 350 miles from my hometown, Houston. Graduated from Dartmouth, which is similar to Harvard and Yale with an economics degree. But essentially, he's a rookie in his first year in the British Basketball League as he spent 6 years in Division I, which is the second level below our league. But I spoke to him earlier, and he said he is supposed to be here. He was just waiting on someone to give him an opportunity. But even more, he has more aspirations. He wants to play, European big boy basketball. So to our studio guest, Jordan Taylor, watch out for your job, my man.
Drew Lasker serving up notice.
You an agent now?
Yeah, Drew Lasker. He comes from the land of Phi Slamma Jamma.
Yeah, starting a little controversy, Drew. I love it.
Taylor Johnson, though, is a player, no question about it, from the Lone Star State, not just a American football state. He has not been able to get on track tonight. And do you think that's just he doesn't have the touch tonight? Or do you think Newcastle came out and said, okay, listen, this guy got 18 on us last time. We got to shut that down.
We'll definitely be at the top of your scouting report. Yeah. But sometimes I feel like he disappears in the offense. Yeah. Doesn't assert himself.
Trying to get the ball inside to Jacob Wiley, and the ball is knocked away. 4 seconds on the shot clock for the Patriots as they trail by 15. And they're going to make a comeback. It's got to start now here in the fourth period. LVC Dusha now will inbound. We get everyone into position. Dusha to the inside. Wiley trying to create some space and just can't do a great job of defense there by the Eagles. Well, you better keep an eye on 11. Malcolm Delpeche on the defensive end last time comes away with the rebound, and now you see the Eagles not a sense of urgency. Beautiful inside pass, running the baseline is Ricky McGill.
With the clock running down, perfect pass. Josh Ward-Hibbert even claps for that offense.
Fans in Newcastle are happy with what they are seeing. Remember, their squad was up by 5 after the first, up by 5 at the half, and then trailed by as many as 3 in the third quarter before righting the ships, and now they find themselves up by 17. Man from Texas can't get it in, but his friends can help him out and put it back in, and that's TJ Atwood with the tip.
And that's multiple times Atwood sticking with the shot.
Oh, Will Neighbor was so close on the putback. Josh Ward-Hibbert takes away. They'll reset. Shot clock now at 8. Deep range 3.
Ooh-wee.
Yeah. It's that kind of night for Ricky McGill.
Yeah, he was right at the, we would usually say logo, but he's on the British basketball logo. 3-point shot. Good for him. Has his feet set. Buries it.
Is it hard to believe that less than 15 minutes ago this was a 2-point game?
Yeah.
Now it's gotten to an 18-point game.
Yeah,
much to the chagrin of Terrell Green, who's trying to keep his team in it. And we talked about this. We knew this would be a problem for Paul James, getting his 501st win with a depleted roster coming here to Newcastle.
You know, they've done some really great things, but we've seen them turn over the ball too easily. Not boxed out at points, but I commend Newcastle because, you know, I didn't think they had a great first half, and they've come out in the second half, cleaned up a few things, and they're looking much better.
Coming up this weekend, Saturday, you've got Surrey traveling down to Bristol. That's going to be a great game. And then Caledonia Gladiators taking on these same Newcastle Eagles. That's Saturday, 8 p.m. on our YouTube channel. Sunday, Manchester Giants getting together with the London Lions. Jordan Taylor getting back to work, not wearing a suit. And then the evening game at 6 o'clock. Surrey Scorchers taking on the Cheshire Phoenix, who Cheshire Phoenix to me and Bristol Flyers, very surprising this year. They're looking really good.
Yeah, top tier basketball.
Turnover. Should be an easy bucket here, and it's not. And that's been the kind of night for Taylor Johnson, but Dusha there to help clean things up for him as he hits the hardwood.
Yeah, that hurt. Come on, Johnson, you make that layup in your sleep.
It's 83-68. Mark Studel talking with his assistants there, and guys, what do you want to do? What do you want to see? And Azania, the game's not over. There's still 7.5 minutes to play. But is this a situation where Coach Studel maybe say, okay, what do we have on the bench? Maybe give the Jordan Johnsons, the Ricky McGills a break?
No, I just think you...
Too soon?
Yeah, too soon. Don't disrespect anyone. Keep your rotation. Maybe, you know, rotate them a little bit quicker, but stick to your game plan. But I definitely think Plymouth, they needed this time out. It's just getting out of hand. Yeah. But maybe just, you know, Faulkner not in, White. There's a lot of missing players.
All right, now we'll check in back in the studio. Jeanette Ovey and Jordan Taylor.
Oh, yeah. Man, Newcastle looking really good in this second half. Josh Ward-Hibbert, I'd be remiss not to shout out my guy. 17 points now, leading the way off the bench. I believe they had 29 bench points, and that's kind of been the difference for him. You know, that's to separate here in the second half, just more depth than Plymouth.
Hey, Jordan, I got to ask you, have you ever played tennis with Josh Ward-Hibbert? Because I hear he's got a 130-mile-an-hour serve.
Listen, that was a topic of contention all year last year. My guy, Tariq Phillip, has never played tennis in his life.
Come on.
And knowing full well that Josh was a professional tennis player, was arguing with him that he could return one of his serves. We was trying to convince Tariq that he was bugging, but, you know, Tariq's from New York, he's from Brooklyn, he's stubborn. You know how that goes.
Yeah.
You don't want
and
that.
I can imagine how it ended.
Yeah, you know, I was trying to see it. I had all the money that I own, all the money that I have on Josh Ward Hibbert. I was like minus 1,000 on the odds, but I would have put it all up.
It's good to have Jordan Taylor with us, the London Lion. He goes back to work this weekend as the Lions are back in action, coming off a big victory in Istanbul as they continue to look really good in the Euro Cup. The London Lions flexing up for the British Basketball League.
Yeah, they got Josh Sharma back too. Nice block, but we'll go up for 2. But yeah, Josh Ward Hibbert was a London Lion, so they know each other very, very well. So lovely to shout him out. And that tennis serve, I don't know if I could.
133 miles an hour is moving. So 90-84 is about the final there. Sheffield's going to get the win over the Leicester Riders. Leicester, I just can't. They're Jekyll and Hyde to me.
Yeah.
At one time, I think, man, Leicester's a good team, and then I go, not so good. But
well, I think it's their age. They're a real young, wild, and free team, and you can see it. Just their inexperience at time. Also go, you know, 1,000,000 miles per hour, and sometimes they just have to steady. But you're right, they're so up and down. They have the potential to be fantastic. They're under Rob Paternoster, a wonderful coach, but just struggling at the moment.
There's 1 second left in that game, so full disclosure, it looks like Sheffield is going to get the victory, and they will look to the weekend's action to see if they can pick up another victory. So 83-70 now. Newcastle trying to close this one out. 13-point lead, 6:50 to play in the ball game. Josh Ward Hibbert, fresh off a shout out from Jordan Taylor, misses that 3-pointer. Dusha trying to find space. Ball kicked out, and Tyrell Green wisely lets it go, because had he been able to corral that, he would have had big 6'10" Will Neighbor in his grill.
But a much better defensive effort there. They missed the shot, and Neighbor, all 5 players in a full-out sprint to the other end. And to match up, well done. And then obviously Will Neighbor gets his hand on that so they can reset their defense.
I think Mark Studel gets his gum from Coach Rob.
Oh my God.
Because he works his gum too.
Yeah, they do.
That jaw muscle working just fine. 6:30 to play as we digress as Plymouth City tries to get themselves back on track here. 6 seconds left in the shot clock. Wide open for Taylor Johnson. He's not going to get a better look than that. Coming right back and giving the problems is Jordan Johnson. Inside out, that's his game.
Absolutely feeling it. He just knows how to get it done, Todd.
Travel. Yeah, double dribble travel. I think Jordan Johnson possibly was thinking he heard that you were on the fence about player of the game, and he said, you know what, let me just pad the resume a bit.
Yeah, let me tell you, Xenia. Because, you know, Josh Ward Hibbert's had a wonderful game.
Yes,
also,
he has.
You know, he's
yes,
had
he has.
17 points. And also, he has 17 points too. Jordan Johnson has 17, so what do I do?
Johnson does have the double-double. He's got that 10th assist. Turnover coming there. Oh, he nutmegs his own man. Joe Hart with the nutmeg on Jacob Wiley. And that leads to a 3. Big Defoe wanted a foul, doesn't get it. So no harm, no foul. And now the Patriots will regroup. Looking for something. And that time Taylor Johnson was off and running. Gets hung up, and that'll stop the clock at 5:26. 16-point lead for the homestanding Eagles. It's a nice way to start your weekend. Come home to your own arena and get a victory.
Love that.
If they do, in fact, hold on. Stranger things have happened.
Well, Levi back in the game. I thought he's been playing wonderful for the Patriots. Has 12 points, 6 from 6 on the floor. He's so effective.
Atwood gives it back to Dusha.
Moving screen.
Yeah.
Levi.
Moving screen after you sang the praises of Spencer Levi. Picks up the foul there. PJ's like, guys, let's just simplify this. $86-70. Eagles, knowing that they've got a game tomorrow against Caledonia. Surprised they're going.
Home.
What's that?
It's at home, isn't it?
Oh, it's at Caledonia. At Caledonia. Ball bounces on the line. Last touch by Taylor Johnson of the Patriots.
It's tough.
Yeah. That's a quick turnaround.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking less than 24 hours. They're going to be on the road at Caledonia taking on a pretty good squad.
Yeah. Well,
Gladiators are...
Newcastle's close. They're up north.
But that's not an easy arena. Look at this. Jordan Johnson, come on. Oh, my word, if that doesn't seal player of the game. Come on.
Yeah.
Clip that up on your highlight reel.
Yeah, player of the game for me.
Did you see that little...
Wonderful. In his bag of tricks.
Scary handle. Patriots just cannot get the clean passing lanes. Behind the back dish to the big man and the flush. At what price, though?
Yeah.
Taj Green is down.
Foul.
And Jordan Johnson fouls Taylor Johnson back at the other end. This is not what Eagle fans want to see.
I think he had his finger, you know. I'm not entirely too sure, but this isn't good at all. He puts it on the plate for him. Beautiful play, highlight. And I think...
Right there? Let's see.
Because he doesn't come up...
it with his right.
He doesn't come up grimacing from his side, a cramp.
You know what? I wonder if he hit it. He didn't hit it on the camera when he came down, did he? Now 4:20 as he's being attended to. Taj Green will have an update on his situation. It's all Eagles tonight from the Virtu Motors Arena. Taj Green has left the court, and we'll try to get an update on his situation. Trying to figure out exactly what happened there, but it is Newcastle now pushing their lead up to 20 points with just 4:20 to play in the ball game.
I'm going with cramp.
You think it's cramp?
Yeah, I've seen, you know, all he eats is Haribo on the side of the bench.
You're saying that like that's a problem.
It is a problem. Not a whole pack, you know, you can have 2 or 3. But I think he's cramping just on the side because I watched the replay.
Didn't hit anything.
No, he didn't hit anything. I thought it was the cameraman he might have hit. Didn't hit that. I'm going to give it to cramp.
So Taylor Johnson able to step up and hit the freebies. Cuts it back to 18. This is a big improvement for their last game against Newcastle. They lost 95-68. An opportunity now for Plymouth City. There you go. Perfectly executed. Remember, they've got 2 big games coming up. They go to Manchester, then they get Surrey at home.
I think Levi is such a big effect for him. He has to be on the floor. He can't afford to pick up those 2 early fouls. So effective. 6 from 6 from the floor.
Feed the big man. Goes right back to Jordan Johnson. Driving. Look at this. Look at this. Darius Defoe would have dunked it, but he didn't want to break the rim.
Best player. I'm going to give it to him, Todd.
Best player over the age of 38 on the court, no question about it.
No, Jordan Johnson, player of the game.
Oh, okay.
Not
I think talking about Darius Defoe. I was like, wow, that's big accolades there for that bucket. Ricky McGill settles things down, comes away with a rebound, and he's going to push the pace, got the one-on-one, and he's fouled by Taylor Johnson, who is almost prone on the court. Newcastle off and running. Speaking of off and running in Newcastle, our very own Drew Lasker spent 8 years in Newcastle, picking up something like 10 titles, and Drew, you are the man. I bet you don't even have to buy a dinner or a drink when you come into that town.
Yeah, I save a lot of money here in Newcastle.
Well, Drew, take us through what it means to be back there for you. I mean, you spent so much of your career there. I know the fans love you there, and they love their basketball.
Yeah, absolutely they do. We opened this place in 2017, and for myself, spending the back nine of my career here, and was able to share with Darius Defoe 10 titles. So, I mean, there was a lot of champagne bottles that we drank here.
Am I putting too much pressure on you, Drew, to give me your best Newcastle accent?
I got you. Bloody freezing like... I've been working on that for 10 years now.
If my eyes were closed, I thought I was talking to a local. That is stellar.
That's what I'm talking about.
Well, Drew, we appreciate your input and what you've done for the league. And now, before we let you go, what does Newcastle have to do to take this team to the next level? We've seen they've got the horses. They've got the Ricky McGill. They got the Jordan Johnson. What do they need to do to be in the upper echelon of the British Basketball League?
Well, I spoke to Coach Mark Studel before the game, and he just said, just a little time. And with time, you're starting to see that. They've won 4 out of their last 5 games. Guys are starting to find their roles, and so they obviously have the talent. It's just putting those pieces together.
All right, appreciate it, Drew. We'll hear from you at the end of the game with the winning coach. And if Azania, I don't know, maybe she's just going to surprise us with a wild card pick, but I think you're pretty much committed to your player of the game.
Yeah, I'm giving it to JJ. I just think he's done a wonderful job.
Josh Ward Hibbert there.
On the offensive end, he has 22 points.
Atwood, step back. Defoe defending. Not tight enough.
And Wyatt also gave it to Johnson, 12 assists.
Yeah.
He's been looking after his teammates as well as...
Double-double.
Yeah. That's a lovely double-double.
That's...
To have it in assists.
And Drew reported about the violin playing?
Yeah, who knew?
I mean...
Obi Soko said he doesn't believe it. He needs evidence, and so do I.
If he's playing the violin with any talent at all, he's Renaissance man. You don't get Azania Stewart's player of the game and play the violin in the same night. That's a big evening. Taylor Johnson will get the and one as he's still hustling. Young man out of Dartmouth that Drew talked about. They don't let just anyone into Ivy League schools.
No.
Believe me, I know.
Where did you go to school?
I went to Brigham Young University in Utah, and I'm a proud graduate of St. Mary's University here in Twickenham, London.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good for you. I'm a Gator.
You are a Gator.
University of Florida, baby.
Gator chop?
Yeah, I bleed. Orange and blue.
Home of Gatorade.
I'm just going back to Taylor Johnson there at the free throw line. 31 minutes tonight. It's a lot of minutes, and they've got to turn around and
they got 2 big games coming up. Yep. Jordan Johnson still in the game and almost gets an and one. And is this going to intentional?
Yep, sure was. The referee just,
Yeah, there you go. Zane, you called it.
Do you know what I love about this? If we can see the replay, I don't know if we'll get it in time, but he hesitates.
Yeah.
Just gets that defense on their back heels, then gets his head down and gets to the rim. Beautiful job by him. A wonderful, well complete offensive, but also with the 12 assists. Great day at the office for this guy.
Yeah, and he's going to pad it even more. He's going to get 2 more shots here with no one on the line, and then he's going to get the possession. So the Newcastle Eagles are pushing awfully close to that century mark.
And he's 9 from 9. Nothing but net there from the free throw line.
I love to see guys hit their free throws at the end of a game.
Yeah.
Anyone can hit them at the start of the game, but it's the end of the game when you're tired, you're beaten up, you got a double-double going, and you step right up, clockwork.
Yeah, and you're focused.
Speaking of focus, Paul James now will turn his focus to the Manchester Giants coming up in about a week's time. That's their next game. They will travel to Manchester, will these Patriots. That's going to be a long road trip. And he'll look for win number 501. More importantly, win number 3 in the season for the Patriots. Will Neighbor thought about the 3, decides to give it back to Jordan, who dishes it nicely inside. Probably half a dozen beautiful dimes from him tonight.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
You want to come out of retirement and play with him, don't you?
He's completely doing it all. A complete player.
Green with the foul as he drives down the lane looking for another bucket. Worth saying that his points off the bench have been fantastic. Actually kept the Patriots in this game in the third period, as he has 21 points, looking for 22 and 23 if he can hit both these foul shots. This is a guy that averages just over 5 points a game, Azania, and to be able to come in, do his minutes change in the next game now?
I think so, and depending on if Will White can come back, if Mason Faulkner, they're struggling, and they're struggling for points. So for him to step up, he was feeling good, felt it from the top of the game. And that's how you build more trust and more minutes with the coach. You come in and you do your job.
Mason Faulkner, a big miss for them tonight. The guard out of Glasgow, Kentucky, usually averaging around 15 points a game, and a great job by Tyrell Green to pick up the pieces and make his contribution felt. So 23 points for him on the night, averaging 5.5 a game thus far in the British Basketball League seasons. We are under a minute to play.
Well, Jordan Johnson has done all his work. He's had a phenomenal game. He's head to the bench.
Candy checking in for Coach Studel, as he is now going to empty his bench and give some guys a minute or two. Samuel Mamouni also checking into the game. Del Pesh now, and the Eagles can run this thing out. Loose ball there.
You can hear him say, go up, go up. They want him to
get
score.
Some of the guys to score, exactly.
Yeah.
So it looks like the Eagles may come up just short of that century mark at 98 points. They got 95 the last time they played the Patriots. It was a 95-68 blowout. Patriots do a little better job tonight, 98-82. I guess there's still 11 seconds, an opportunity for the Eagles to hit that 100.
Yeah, he'll probably try and get a bucket here. Why not? But their fans are out of their seats. Well deserved.
Nice pass underneath, and that's going to be game. Good finish for Coach Studel and his squad as they finish on top, 98-82. A big victory for them, and I don't think you can say enough for the contributions he got from his entire team, but more importantly from Jordan Johnson. When they needed someone to settle the game, he settled the game. When they needed someone to score, he scored.
Incredible. And you know what I loved about him this evening, Todd, is that he was aggressive. He put his team on his back. He flexed at moments, but also got his team involved with those 12 assists. 13 assists, excuse me.
But you never got the feeling, though, that he was pressuring, like he was forcing his shot. No. Everything was within rhythm.
I think that's a great point. In offense, he's getting to, driving to the basket, never really forced. And also, when he did have to force it, is with the shot clock running down.
No question about it. So a great night for Jordan Johnson as his stat line continues. 24 points on the evening for him. He picks up 13 assists and a defensive rebound to go with all that. So working at both ends of the court. So the Newcastle Eagles run their record now to 6-7, one shy of going to 500. And if they get to Mount 500, it'll be tomorrow as they head to Caledonia to take on the Gladiators. We'll see what happens there. Unfortunately for the Plymouth City Patriots, it's going to be a long bus ride back home, and they drop to 2-12 on the season. So the fans leave the Virtu Motors Arena very happy as their Eagles get the victory, and player of the game is standing by with our Drew Lasker.
Jordan, 5 guys in double figures, 5 out of your last 6. What's been the difference as of late?
Just playing my game, really. Coach installing that confidence in me and in all the guys to just go out there and play freely. So nobody's holding back. We're just playing our game.
And not the Ice Cube triple-double, but I'm sure you're good with the double-double.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. That's all right. I'll take it.
Ovi Soko doesn't believe that you used to play the violin. Clear that up for my man.
Yeah, I definitely played the violin like 6th grade, 5th grade. I was...
There you go. That's for Ovi Soko. You see that? Those skills come from the violin.
Facts.
Thanks for your time, bro. Congratulations. Back to you guys.
Well, would you look at that? He's showing you can play the violin, Ovi Soko, but look at those stats as well. They've just disappeared. We're going to talk about those stats, and we say for Jordan Johnson, what a game he had today, Ovi.
He had an absolutely incredible game. I mean, real floor general. I feel like the team, like he was saying, is starting to trust in him. His coach trusting him. And as you can see here, the assists, a lot of those assists coming from him. They didn't win the battle of the rebounds, but they were able to keep the turnovers low and get out in transition and punish Plymouth for all of their turnovers.
It was brilliant. A brilliant game. The Newcastle Eagles 98, Plymouth City Patriots 82, and Newcastle in complete cruise control. They put the burners on in the second half, and they took this one by that 16 points. Jordan Johnson, as we said, and Josh Ward-Hibbert absolutely showing their class and keeping the Eagles on this winning streak. And it's a long way home for the Plymouth City Patriots. Tyrell Greeley tried to keep them in the game. The lack of depth, ultimately, their downfall as the Eagles soared to victory. And for you, Jordan Taylor, watching that, you could see that Jordan Johnson played such an integral part in this game today.
Yeah, he was incredible. Second half on both ends of the floor as well. Sometimes they had defensive lapses on in the first half. Defense starts with the point guard, so 24 points, 13 assists. That speaks for itself. But second half on the defensive side of the ball, pressuring the ball, being in the right place defensively, and that was a master class in how to play the position.
Absolutely. Well, let's see what Mark Stutil thinks about that. Here's Drew Lasker.
Coach, you won 5 out of your last 6 games, and the term that you used over the last few weeks has been consistency. How are you guys consistent tonight?
I think in the second half defensively, that was a step where we want to be. I still, pleased that we ground out the win. We gave up 17 offensive rebounds, so I'm not pleased with that. I'm pleased how, that's their identity, and we were still able to find a win. So you can see these guys, they're connected, they're playing, they're trying to play the right way. I think we had 27 assists, sharing the basketball offensively, so still trying to build our identity.
And of course, as a coach, you're also always looking to get better, but you got 5 guys in double figures, but most importantly, Scott Spencer getting some minutes and giving some production.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really pleased for Scott. Scott's an ultimate pro, and he's earned the trust of everybody within our group. And he's absolutely worked his backside off to be able to get to where he is. So I'm hopeful that that's a really good springboard for Scott, and we're able to see the best of him. But as you say, multiple guys in double figures is something that we talk about. It's something that we really want to do, and I'm really pleased we got there tonight.
I know you got a game tomorrow, but Jordan Johnson love yum-yums. How many can he have tonight, Coach?
He can have as many as he wants after that. 10 of 10 from the free throw line, a few assists, he can have as many as he wants.
There you go. Thanks, guys. Thanks for your time, Mark. Back to you guys.
We love a yum-yum for a post-game nutrition, don't we there, Ovi?
Oh, 100%. I mean, I personally would go for a Popeyes, as I think everyone here in the studio knows.
Here we go. Oven fried chicken is available. But just on that, though, what we did hear Coach Stutil there say that he wasn't happy with the offensive rebounds, and we understood that. We spoke about that during halftime. But Jordan Johnson, the stats, it just goes to show he is an integral part of his team. And for the identity that Newcastle speak about, he needs to be a key part of that.
100%. We've been sort of hammering down on this, and it's the consistency, but it's the consistency in finding their style of play, what their identity is, and this is what it's going to have to be. You're going to have to put the ball in his hands, and what that's doing is helping the guys around him figure out where they fit into this offense. They've got guys who can score. Taj Green, an absolutely big time score here, knocking down the 3. Doing what he does on the defensive end. But, Jordan Johnson, giving him the keys just makes life easier for everyone else out there. And I know that. I played with absolutely terrific point guards like this guy next to me. And, when you're playing with someone that you can trust to get the ball where you need it, it makes everything just easier.
And I think to that, we saw that with Jordan Johnson. So many people, so many of the players, you could clearly see that he is the player to trust to be able to do the business tonight.
Yeah, as a point guard, that's your job, is to be a general on the floor. You can only have one general. You can't have 3. If you got a lot of people moving the parts around, doing different things, then you're going to get into trouble. Tonight, they kind of played off of Jordan, they played off of Jordan Johnson. You saw guys like Josh Ward-Hibbert getting comfortable, cutting to the basket. Ricky McGill in the first half kind of playing off the ball a little bit more. Del Pesh got in the action. Everybody got involved like we talked about, and that's what that Newcastle team can look like when they have that general leading the way.
Well, let's see. Can they hold on to that identity? A good win for them tonight. But let's have a look and see what's coming up in Week 10 here at the British Basketball League. full-time results. You can see them all there. I'll come back to those in a moment. But from tomorrow, Surrey Scorchers take on the Bristol Flatters at 5 o'clock. The Caledonia Gladiators and the Newcastle Eagles back in action at 8 o'clock. And would you look at that? That's on the YouTube channel. You can watch that. Manchester Giants, London Lions at 3 o'clock on Sunday. And Cheshire Phoenix against Surrey Scorchers at 6 o'clock. Again, on the British Basketball League YouTube channel. Let's have a look at the standings then. How do tonight's results affect the league? Well, London Lions still at the top there, of course, 14 points. If you look down, Newcastle, 7th place, and Plymouth City Patriots rooted to the bottom with 14 points. But they are, like we say, Newcastle Eagles back in action tomorrow. And I just can't get over, Jordan, just how quickly these games are coming around for you guys.
Yeah, it's night after night. It's exhausting. Like we talked about pre-game, you know, Darius Defoe, he was stretching. I'm trying to stretch on set right now. I'm going to stretch after because all these games, I don't know if I'm built for that anymore, but I love it. I love playing night after night.
And we've loved having you here. Thank you very much, Jordan, Ovi, and we'll see you guys next week.
Argue with this 16.